Iran has just responded to Donald Trump, and it's not good. This is coming from Iran's parliament speaker, who says, quote, "Your reckless moves are dragging the United States into a living hell for every single family, and our whole region is going to burn because you insist on following Netanyahu's command." Adding, "Make no mistake, you won't gain anything through war crimes. The only real solution is respecting the rights of the Iranian people and ending this dangerous game." He's referring to the fact that Donald Trump, in his message, did mention that he's going to hit bridges and power plants inside of Iran. Hitting power plants that are for civilians, that is a war crime. We also heard from the former Iranian foreign minister, who said in a statement, "If the White House repeats its foolish mistakes, it will quickly realize that the flow of energy and global trade can be disrupted with a single signal." He went further by saying, while the United States has learned history from Iran, it is yet to learn the geography of power, referring to the fact that when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz, it being shut down for an extremely long time will definitely screw up the world economy. We're already seeing it now. Bottom line is, it doesn't look like Iran is going to be, by 8 p.m. on Tuesday, going to be negotiating with the United States.
We have some news right now. Another lawmaker has come out in favor of the 25th Amendment following the president's unhinged Easter Day post this morning. Congressman Yasmin Ansari became the latest to come out and call for the 25th Amendment, saying that, quote, "The 25th Amendment exists for a reason. The President of the United States is a deranged lunatic and a national security threat to our country and the rest of the world." Now, what Donald Trump is saying hits home personally for the Congresswoman, as she is an Iranian-American Congresswoman, only the second currently serving in the United States Congress. And now she has followed Chris Murphy's lead in calling for the 25th Amendment. They're not the only ones that are suggesting that the 25th Amendment should be invoked or should be considered. There is deep concern over what the president is saying and the president's general well-being. And while Congresswoman Ansari is really just saying the quiet part out loud here. Now, the invocation of the 25th Amendment is a very complicated process. It requires Trump's cabinet to turn on Trump. That's not going to happen. But the calls are growing. Spread the word. Follow along for all the news you need to know about.
Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Your brother Kahan from the GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp here in Trinidad with another edification through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai. Alright, so first and foremost, Kal Halayam La Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Kodash, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai. Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the apostles, the bishops, the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Salutation unto the brothers who preaching and teaching us truth throughout the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and their freedom to do so no more than ever. You know, salutation unto shalom unto the speckled bird Israelites and the very few but faithful Akwat, which is the sisters, you know, that listening and learning. You say shalom, shalom, shalom. Alright, this man, this man, you know, he just hog up it, boy. He's just going crazy by the freaking day, by the hour, by the minute, by the second. He's just going more and more and more crazy. Alright. I know, like, it looks, from the looks of things, you know, it's like he a little more again, he will start to rip off the hair off his friggin' head. Alright, because, you know, the Iranians, they don't give two shits. Alright, pursuant to his threats and what have you, so forth. Alright, and then you have an infighting taking place. Alright, within the cabinet, you know, the government and the so-called opposition and what have you, so forth. You know, there's a big split, you know, a big split, a whole big split taking place. Alright, a whole big division taking place, you know, and not just only within the governmental sphere, but also within the populace, you know, the population, you know. There's a big split. You know, there are those who are in full support of this ongoing war. Alright. and then there are those, who is totally against, and what have you, so forth, because they're seeing the decline that, the decline of the society, and what have you, so forth, of the whole social system, you know, within America, within Babylon the Great, that it is causing a great strain upon the people, upon the economy, upon everything. Alright, but this is what has to take place. This is what has to take place, to bring about the fall of America, Babylon the Great. Alright, these things have to take place. These things have to go on. Alright, that's why when I go to Isaiah 19, alright, and 1, where it reads, Isaiah 19 and 1, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, which is America, alright, spiritual Sodom and Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Alright, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, in which we see now, alright, a whole split within the whole fabric, the whole societal fabric within America, from its political system, go down to the populace, alright, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom, which we see in taking place, and is going to go all out, alright, by the way of civil war, and what have you, so forth. Alright, verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. Yeah, I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and unto the wizards. Alright, because the time is coming that, they're going to lose all control. Alright, they're going to lose all control, and they will do their best to try to regain control of their so-called controlled demolition of things. Alright, but Yahweh Shem Yahshai, he is not going to let them be successful pursuant to their left-hand measures, their left-hand means. Alright, but this is the point where I'm getting at here. Alright, verse 4, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hands of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, say the Lord, the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Alright, so this is the situation where we are at right now. Okay, tomorrow is the 6th, I believe. Tomorrow is the 6th, yeah, because tomorrow is the 6th. Tomorrow is the 6th. Alright, because let me see, Wednesday was the 1st, Friday the 2nd, Saturday the 3rd, Sunday the 4th, Monday the 5th, yeah, so Tuesday the 6th, alright, because remember he said he given them until the 6th, and what have you, so forth, before he started up his bombing campaign, and what have you, so forth. Alright, so this is where it is. Alright, this man, he's going through leaps and bounds, to achieve, not really for himself, but actually for Amalek, really. Alright, because he's being led by Amalek, he's being controlled by Amalek. Alright, when we say Amalek, not just not a Jew, but really the true elites, the banking dynasties, the Rothschilds, and what have you, so forth. There is what it is. Alright, so he's under, though what you just saw, he's under pressure on both sides. Alright, he's under pressure, he's under a lot of pressure, and he has to carry about the orders of the elites. So hence the reason why he is moving with no, I wouldn't say remorse, yeah, with no remorse, yes, but there's a word trying to get, he's moving without wisdom, for lack of better words, all right, for lack of better words, he's moving it out wisdom. So, I would say irrational will be, let me see, bear with me, I'm going to go to that word and see that the proper word I should use. All right, irrational. Irrational. Let me see. All right, so good. Yeah, irrational. Yeah. So it says, irrational describes thoughts, behaviors, or beliefs not based on logic, reason, or clear thinking. It often refers to unreasonable actions or unfounded fears. All right, so there's what it is. This man is moving very irrational. With no sense of thinking, no sense of clear thinking, he has a whole bunch of bloodthirsty warmongers within his cabinet, within his inner circle, such as Rubio and Vance and Hexet and these guys, all right, that is advising him, and what have you, so forth, where these men, you could clearly see these men are just a bunch of devils, all right, but this is the man that the Lord set up, within Babylon, to be that king, to be that reigning king over Babylon right now. All right, because this is the man we clearly see, and that is going to be the man to bring about, the destruction of Babylon the Great. All right, because he's moving the way he's moving, is basically what he really supposed to do. He doing what he's really supposed to do, what the Lord put him and set him to do. All right, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. All right, and there's where it is here. Yeah, there's where it is here. This man is going on a freaking rant. Let me see if I can get that. Bear with me, Baba Kusha. This man just on his Truth Social account or whatever it is, as I can read here. He says what Tuesday will be power plan day and bridge day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking street. Open the fucking street, you crazy bastards. Who is more crazy than fucking you? Who is actually showing who is actually showing the crazy tendencies here? Is it the Iranians? The Iranians are calm and cool and collective with all what they're going through. Alright? You are bumming the shit out of them, and they are calm and cool and collective, and they are just retaliating, within the same energy. All right, you bomb them, they bomb Israel. You bomb them, they bomb Israel. They bomb Israel, they bomb other Gulf states, that is allied unto Babylon and what have you, so forth. So it's a tit for tat. All right, the Iranians could really they could really give a fuck. All right, what they really want and what they're really playing for, patience is a game of patience. All right, where they are just patiently waiting for you to send your ground troops in. That is what they're really waiting on. All right, they're not really too much into the war of words and what have you, so forth, as they could clearly see. All right, they are showing that they are people of action. All right, and they are waiting. So as he says, open the fucking street, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald Trump. So who is showing the more crazy tendencies here? Is it the Iranians or is it Babylon the Great? Or should I say, Trump himself? All right, that's why I want to go down to verse 14. Where it says what? Verse 14, this Isaiah 19:14, where it reads, the Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work, as a drunken man staggereth in his own vomit. All right, and this is what we are seeing. All right, they are erring. They everything that they are doing pursuant to this campaign here that they are waging, this war campaign that they are waging. All right, towards Iran and what have you, so forth. Everything is backfiring on them, and it's backfiring on them to the point where now, they are a house divided. All right, and what the scripture spoke about that. All right, let's get that. I would like to get that in the NLT. Let's take a look at that. Daniel 7:20. Let's take a look at that. Daniel chapter 7 and verse 20. All right, where it reads, we know that's going into the beast. All right, the 10 horns, 7 heads, what have you, so forth. All right, but I reading this here showing, the mindset of this man, the mindset of Babylon the Great. All right, the mindset of Donald Trump. So it says, and the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up. All right, that other that which came up is America. All right, and before whom three fell, which was Portugal, Spain, the French, and the British, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth. The eyes goes into wisdom, and a mouth that speaketh very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. So this is the thing here. All right, because hey, to go even further, with this thing here, it's not only there's a split within, the American society, as I said, with the government and the populace and whatnot, so forth. There is also a split within their whole organization pursuant to the beast, and the whore that rideth upon the beast. Because again, like for instance, the British, all right, the British stammer, there's a clip that I have there. Where I was taking in before doing the certification, where he was clearly stating, that this war is not their war, all right, and they will do their best, to not be dragged in, all right, because they know, but them being dragged in, and the whole of NATO and the European Union being dragged into this war and whatever so forth, it will be the end for them. Don't get it twisted. They know. All right, they know. So there's a split also within that whole organization pursuant to NATO and the European Union. With their disagreements pursuant to this war. On the Strait of Hormuz. Trump demanding that NATO should join, for the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz and what have you so forth, and they rejected. All right, just what it was, Trump, and Israel, something pursuant to the UN, where they wanted to get permission from the UN or something like that, something to that matter, pursuant to the opening of the Strait of Hormuz, as in getting other nations to join them and whatnot so forth, and their own allies. I think Spain was one, France was one, and one or two other nations. I can't remember the whole scenario, just bits and pieces. But what I know for sure, they had vetoed that. Whatever it is that Israel and America was doing, to try to have the upper hand, and what have you so forth. But this whole conflict, it was shut down. I think Russia and China also too. Besides Russia and China, Spain and France and one or two of their own allies within NATO, had vetoed it. All right, So this just goes to show, the strength, the strength that they once had, it's dwindling. All right, that's just one part of it, and it's showing too also, cracks. All right, it's showing the cracks, where the iron, it's showing the cracks where oh gosh, pursuant to Revelation 17:16, where the beast will heed the whore, you know. These are the things that we see in here. You understand? Because the whole high about this thing here, this man, again, irrational thinking with this man. All right, irrational thinking, because it's all about the agenda, really and truly. This whole thing is mainly the agenda of Amalek. You understand what the scripture talk about? Let's see, Jeremiah, I think it's 50:45. Jeremiah 50:45, where it reads, "Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Babylon," all right, which is America, and his purposes, all right, the Lord's purpose, all right, and his counselor, that he had purpose against the land of the Chaldeans, all right, the Chaldeans are the elites, all right, the Chaldeans today are the elites within Esau Edom, all right, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, which is who? Amalek, all right, those Israelites, all right, surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved and the cry is heard among the nations. So the point I'm getting with the scripture, is that, this man, he's just a puppet, and as a puppet, he's not thinking for himself, so he's not thinking clearly and actually weighing out the whole situation. All right. Salakia. He's not weighing out the situation properly. All right, because you think, they have that big bad military. Yeah, the big bad military, with all the technology and what have you, so forth, you know, and what have you. They think that they could go to each and every country and set their standard of rulership and what have you, so forth. You understand? So that is what they're doing. It just boosting up his bravado and whatnot, so forth, his pride and what have you, and again, Amalek is using that, within their favor, all right, and leading them into this third world war, all right, what have you, so forth, ready for Amalek's agenda, all right, because Amalek's agenda is what is getting that accomplishing that greater Israel, but more so having rulership over the whole world, all right, getting that blessing, trying to get that blessing that is destined for the true children of Israel, by carnal means. All right, there's where it is. All right, there's what this whole thing is about. All right, but the fact of the matter is that things is backfiring on them. Everything is backfiring on them. All right, every single thing is backfiring on them. You have the situation of where so far, within a month, they have spent over 200 and counting, $200 billion and counting within this war. Just recently, we just get news that the boat pilots were rescued and what have you, so forth. You know how much money that was spent just to simply rescue those pilots. You understand? There's where it is. So it's a lot of money spending, a whole lot of money spending and what have you, so forth. But the thing about it is draining them. They are being drained. The Iranians is draining them. All right, all that money that they're spending on bombs and what have you, so forth. Just the other day, they lost a whole shipment. All right, Just the other day they lost a whole shipment that the mainstream media wouldn't speak about. Alright, but they lost a ship with a whole shipload of armaments, missiles, for the air defense, you know, um, what else again? Bombs for the planes and what have you, so forth, for the fighter jets and all these things, to carry out the bombing raids and all these things, a whole shipload, the Iranians destroyed it, a hypersonic missile, I believe, all right, sunk it. So there's where it is, all right. That is why the scriptures say, let me see if I could get that. All right, let's take a look at this is Luke 14. All right, and I will start at 28, where it reads, "For which of you intended to build a tower, set it not down first, and count the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it. Least happily, after he had laid the foundation, and it is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him." But I'm gonna jump down. This is the point that I want to get, which is actually verse 30. Alright? The point starting at 28, Yeah, starting at 28. Alright, but the main part of it is 31 actually. Alright, where it says, "Or what king going to make war against another king sitteth not down first and counsel it, whether he will be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000. All right, and this is the thing here. All right, they're in a situation, they're in a dire situation where see how the scriptures, see how truthful the scriptures is, and how prophecy, entails within the scripture, because they are being bled. All right, they are being bled monetarily. All right, pretty soon it's going to be physically in the part of them putting boots on the ground and being slaughtered. All right, by these Iranian soldiers within Iran. Okay, so this is the situation here. All right, all what is taking place now. They didn't expect that. All right, they thought, well, the first set of bombing raids and whatnot, so forth, and the killing of Kamani and certain other top officials within the military and what have you, so forth. They thought, well, that would have decapitate, as how they decapitate the heads there, that would have, made the regime fall, what have you, so forth, so forth. But they are still standing. The Iranians are still standing. All right, and the more the Iranians, stand up and on their 2 feet and fight, it is costing the American taxpayers billions of dollars by the freaking day. All right, because not just only of the weaponry that they're using to carry out attacks and to defend from Iranian missiles and whatnot, so forth. Remember, you had to feed the soldiers, you had to feed the navy, whatnot, so forth. All these things you had to put into consideration as spending. All right, so they are being bled on all levels, because they thought they would go into the region, do what they had to do, and everything would have been wrapped up quick, and whatnot, so forth. But no, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua is keeping them right there for the long haul. All right, for the long haul. All right, and now they're at a point now where they're seeing that they will have no other choice but to go into Iran. You understand? So now they're at a point where now, they're wondering, if the men, the men that they have there right now, the accumulation of men that they have there within the region right now, and who they are and who they are bringing across pursuant to, all right, the 2 Marine Expedition Unit, which is about 3,000, 5,000 Marines, all right, and the 82nd Airborne, that they have, that they're about to deploy and what have you, so forth, and other special forces soldiers and what have you, so forth. If that will be enough. All right, but the thing about it is, is all the working of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Again, is that trap Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has set forth for them, and they fall right into it, and they are not seeing it. All right, they are not seeing it, and they wouldn't see it because pride has lifted them up. All right, pride has lifted them up. So it's just a matter of time for let me see, and I don't think he's going to wait the full 48 hours, today. I believe that they will bomb today. They will start a bomb today and not even wait for tomorrow. All right. That's just my thoughts. That's just my thoughts. But best believe there's going to carry it out. There's going to carry out those bombing campaigns. Because that's just Babylon. All right, that's just Babylon. They're going to carry out that bombing campaign, but I would more so believe that they will do that today. All right. I believe they will do that today. So yeah. They didn't. They wasn't. All what is taking place right now, they wasn't expecting it. All right, because their own pride had deceived them. Their own pride had deceived them. Their own pride had deceived them. There's waiters. This is the part. This is the point where we at right now. This is the point where we at right now. All right, this is the point where we at right now, and it's going to be a bloody end. All right, this whole thing is just going to escalate. It's just going to escalate into a serious conventional war. All right, where these military just going to slug it out. All right, NATO is going to be dragged in, and what have you, so forth. China, Russia, on North Korea, and what have you, so forth. Turkey, on the part of Iran, and what have you, and they're all going to slug it out until it's going to end up into what? Into thermal nuclear war. All right, thermal nuclear warfare. All right, there's where it is. That's why I will just end with this here. I will stay here. I'll go to the Old Testament, which is Isaiah 9 and 5. Let that come up. All right, Isaiah 9 and 5, where it reads, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." There's where it is. This is what this whole thing is going to end up in. All right, burning and fuel of fire, thermal nuclear warfare. All right, Trump, pull your hair out your head, boy. I can actually picture him pulling his hair out his head because he's going freaking mad, because everything that that he had hoped for, is going in a total opposite direction. All right, so hey, it is what it is. This is what we hopefully been waiting to see. All right, because this is prophecy, and these things had to happen in order for us to really get out of here. All right, so let it happen, Lord, let it happen, let it happen, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Bring your plagues, bring your judgment, because living under this man rulership is not living at all. Anyhow, your brother Kahan from the GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp, signing out, saying Kal Halayim, La Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Raka Kodash, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai. Double honors unto the apostles, the bishops, the elders, a great millstone that rule well. Salutation unto the brothers who preaching and teaching this truth, show the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and the freedom to do so no more than ever. Shalom unto the speckled bird Israelites, along with the very few but faithful Akwat. We say shalom, shalom, shalom unto the holy, hopeful elect. Wa'abad babal, wa'abad babal, wa'abad babal. Alright.